Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy that you're here. Today I am doing a glammed get ready with me for a date night as I answer some questions about what it's like to be married at 22. I hope you guys stick around. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope I get to answer some questions. Without further ado, let's just get into the video. All right, so I already did my brows off camera, and I actually did my brows much earlier today, and I feel like they look pretty good. Okay, so first question is, why did I get married at a young age? That's actually a really good question because I was not planning to get married at such a young age. I will say though, I kind of always knew that I would get married somewhere in my 20s. I didn't know if it was gonna be early 20s or if it were gonna be late 20s, but I knew I was gonna get married at a younger age than what most people would consider. I will also say though that my now husband and I, we've had conversations about marriage when we were dating, and so I kind of already knew that we were going to get married at a young age. That was just something that was kind of, I guess, an unspoken thing. Like, he never said, I'm going to propose to you at a young age, but we did kind of talk about expectations and like what we were looking for in a relationship, which I think is so important early on because a lot of people are in relationships and don't have the same intentions. So I know a lot of people who may be together and one wants commitment and the other doesn't. And for me, that was something that I wanted us to be on the same page about. I knew that I wanted to be married one day, and so we had those hard conversations, and I was like, look, if you're gonna put a ring on my finger, let me know, like, so I won't just be confused and kind of lost this whole time. So we were on the same page about one day we knew we wanted to be married and spend forever together. Okay, the next question is it boring being married at a young age? Y'all, this could be so far from, being married at a young age is far from boring, at least for my experience. My husband and I are not really big on going out much. We don't really care for having huge friend groups. Both of us are honestly introverts at heart, and so I would say that us being afraid of not having fun, not living out our 20s was just not something that we worried about ever. Mind you that my husband is 25, so he's a little older than me. We're about 2.5, 3 years apart, and so honestly, he was kind of just ready to go ahead and settle down and find the love of his life and just kind of like live that married life. Throughout college, I was not someone who was really into partying. I didn't really feel that fear of missing out when it came to going to clubs and this, that, and the other. It was just not my thing. That was just something that did not spark my interest much, which I'm really, really happy about because I know that's like the college life and whatnot. I've been married for a month, by the way, and I never felt like super bored. I never felt like we were missing out on things because I knew that we could do those things together. So the next question is, did we move in after or before marriage? So this is something that we were very, very strong on. We definitely wanted to live together after marriage. Yeah, we moved in wedding night. So a little backstory, we're actually not from the same city. So he's originally from Central Florida and I am from Jacksonville, Florida. And so we kind of had to decide like what it would look like after I graduated. So we kind of just came to the decision to move to Jacksonville. We had a lot of reasons to come here. I know at some point in time in our relationship, I really did want to stay in Orlando. I didn't really care to move back to Jacksonville. I had no interest. And then God was like, yeah, you're gonna go back to Jacksonville. And so that's what we did. We came to Jacksonville, we prayed about it. We really did sit out our pros and cons to see what was best for the both of us in a relationship. So Jacksonville was the way. We ultimately picked Jacksonville because Jacksonville is just such a slower, steady type of city. It has slower living. It's not as fast paced as Orlando. And also too, our jobs, like, was just so easier for us to get jobs here. And then lastly, I would say one of the bigger reasons was because of our finances. Like, we really felt like it was a smarter move to move here. and the market and whatnot. Like, everything in Orlando is so expensive. I did not want to be surrounded by people who just are obsessed with Disney all the time. So we just thought that it was the best decision for us to move to Jacksonville. And who knows, maybe in the future God will move us to Orlando, maybe he'll move us out of state. We have no idea, but as for now, we think Jacksonville was just the best decision for us. So the next question is, how did your parents feel about you getting married at a young age? So this is a pretty good question. Honestly, I really don't think that my parents were upset about it. I honestly think my parents were extremely happy for me. I don't think it was something that they tried to like warn me about or try to talk me out of. Actually, I learned this after I got proposed to. Angel actually went to my family and had a whole conversation with my mom and dad about marrying me months in advance before he actually proposed. That was something that I always expressed to him, that I wanted like for him to talk to my parents before marrying me and ask for a hand in marriage. I think genuinely my parents were extremely happy for me. I do think it was a bittersweet thing, just because I feel like my parents was having a hard time seeing like their baby girl kind of grow up and really like live life. Like, you know, I think it was hard for them a little, but I do think with all of that, they were more than happy for us. They are here in Jacksonville, so we're able to visit them a lot. Sometimes my mom will host Sunday dinners and whatnot. We're actually hanging out with my other brothers and my sister later on this week. So, or actually no, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we're actually hanging out with them and stuff. So we're always in contact with each other. It's never like a weird, we don't hear from Brianna anymore. So yeah, that's been really nice. I'm gonna go back in with this setting powder. Next question is, did you feel prepared for marriage? This is a really good question. Before I answer that question, I do want to say that I don't think we can ever prepare for something like marriage. Like, you can never prepare so much for marriage where it's just perfect and easy flowing. I do believe that marriage is something you can try to prepare for as much as you can, but until you're actually in it, then you're able to live out what you've learned prior to getting married, if that makes sense. So my preparation for marriage looked like reading my Bible all the time, reading what it meant to be a biblical wife. Also just finding like traits and characteristics of what a husband for me looks like, being a strong, courageous person, also being a leader in my life, and possibly a leader for our future family. So yeah, it just took a whole bunch of prayer, a whole bunch of in my Bible, because I, you know, want to be the best wife that I can be to my husband. So I think that's what my preparation looked like. And yeah, better. Okay, I had to fix the lighting a little bit, so I'm so sorry, y'all. Next question is, what's the hardest part about marriage? So again, we've only been married for a month. I would say we're still newlyweds. Communication is not as easy as we think it is. I know a lot of people say that communication is key and that it should always be like that top priority, and it's like, if you don't have good communication, just communicate. But honestly, communication can be really hard. I think when we become so comfortable with our partner, we think that they can read our minds and that they're these wizards and they should know everything and they should know when to do things and they should know how exactly we want it done. And that's not the case. I am learning new things about my husband every single day as I'm still learning about myself, and vice versa. The next question is, what is the best thing about marriage? So this isn't a hard question at all, but I will say that there's multiple answers to this question. I would say a few things that I love about being married and being married young is just being able to do everything with my partner. Like, the fact that we don't leave each other, we come home to each other, which is so awesome. I know when we dated, we would have these moments where we would date a little bit long distance because I was either here while he was there or he had something for the Air Force. Now we get to come home to each other every single day. It's great. I love it so much. I honestly love greeting my husband when he comes home from work. Another thing I really like is just being able to have that best friend, that number one supporter for me, the person who's always rooting for me, who's always listening to me, is such a great thing. I love that my husband is such a great listener, and I feel like he always has my best interest. I know that I can fully trust him. It's really important to always consider, like, once you're married, that person is now being considered in every decision I make, whether it's big or small. So I think that yes, making hard decisions can be difficult, but I do think in the same way, like, making those decisions together is what makes us stronger. And I also think that it brings us closer together for sure. I love this color so much, y'all. It's so cute. So this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will definitely have to do a part 2 in terms of how we decided to go about our wedding ceremony and my bridal shower and all of the other details, but for now I just wanted to stick to the most broad basic questions about what it's like to be married at such a young age. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.